welcome to my February wrap-up. I'm kind of excited. I read 7 books this month, and it's kind of funny because my reading lately has felt just kind of odd, and I think it's just because there's more books that I have to pick up versus books that I just feel like picking up, and then the books that I feel like picking up just take me forever to get through. But I have my little stack over here, and I'm just going to kind of grab off the top and briefly discuss each of them, discuss my thoughts, and we're just going to jump right in, starting with Ranger's Apprentice, The Ruins of Gorlan by John Flanagan. Now, this was a 5-star read, obviously, and I read it for my Ranger's Apprentice readathon that I'm hosting with Rosalie, and we had our first live show discussion, trivia situation, and it was incredibly fun. I absolutely love this universe. I love the characters. I love the adventures that they go on, and while this isn't my favorite of the series, even though it is the first one, just the feeling and the serotonin I get from being back into the universe and back with characters that I've grown up with and that just feels so familiar was exactly what I needed midway through this month. Definitely my favorite series of the entire world. Is it the best written series? No. There have been more series as of late that are just phenomenal in terms of writing. R.F. Kuang's Poppy War, Patrick Rothfuss's The Name of the Wind, Kingkiller Chronicles situation. Those series, absolute favorite. Writing is stunning. But the absolute deep set nostalgia I have for these characters and the story just tops everything else. And so, not only are these good books, and not only will I continue recommending Ranger's Apprentice nonstop, but they are just fun and easy and quick, and they don't take a lot of brain power, and the characters are just so fun. I love this series so much, and so I'm so happy to be back into the universe. Next, we have The Queen's Gambit by Walter Tevis. Now, I recently watched the Queen Gambit Netflix TV series situation, and it was phenomenal. It absolutely deserved all the Emmys or Grammys. Is Emmys movies? I don't keep up with the rich. But all the awards that it got, it absolutely deserved it 100%. It was phenomenal. The source material, however, is a bit questionable. This book was written in the 1980s, and so it definitely is a very different style to modern day writing. And I don't want to say it feels like a classic. It's somewhat, I feel like it could be easier compared to a classic in terms of the writing. It was very cut and dry, and I just didn't really enjoy Walter Tevis's writing. But the interesting thing too is that there were so many lengthy descriptions about chess, which I get is the whole point of this book. But I do not need 2.5 pages of this chess play with chess terminology that I do not understand, which is why I enjoyed the Netflix series way more, because although I still know nothing about chess, I know a bit more about chess, but nothing too deep and intricate. It was interesting to read about the source material, do not get me wrong. I love being able to see what inspired something else. I think that's a really cool experience. But I did give it 3 stars, probably a low 3 stars, truly. It was just boring, in my opinion. The only thing that kept me hooked was the fact that I had watched the Netflix series prior. So unless you're absolutely obsessed with the Queen's Gambit on Netflix and are like me and you just love kind of seeing what the source material is, that's the only time I would truly recommend this book, but it's really not worth your time. The next book is a situation where I'm don't judge me too harshly. I like K-pop. So I had to pick up Once Upon a K-Prom by Kat Cho. Now, I only heard about this novel actually through Katie because she was talking about the other books that Kat Cho have written and how this book had potential. I believe I gave it a 3.75. I think that's what I rated it. It wasn't phenomenal in terms of storylines within the K-pop books that I've read. Most of them do follow a similar and very predictable plot line, but the key point of this book is how much fun I had reading it. I probably would give the enjoyability 10 stars. I was just needing something light and fluffy and fun, and Kat Cho delivered on that particular need. I love reading K-pop books. I think it's so fun to read a book that involves another one of my hobbies. I tend to do that on hobbies that I have. I try to find books that kind of relate to that. I've yet to find any fiction novels that involve jujitsu, which is something that I really, really want to find. So if anyone knows any fictional novels that involve jujitsu, let me know. Or even good non-fiction books about jujitsu. I don't know. I just have a habit of wanting to like read about my hobbies because I find it fascinating. In this book, it is set in high school, and I think that's what truly lost me. I think if I was into K-pop in high school or middle school, I would have really, really enjoyed this book. It was just a fun, cute little romance. However, being so detached from like the drama of high school, and I just find a lot of the drama in high school a little bit ridiculous in hindsight. It was hard for me to enjoy this like high stakes situation about prom because I'm like, I literally could care less about prom and high school drama. And so that's the only thing that really took me out. However, it's a little unfair of me to judge this book in this way because it's literally called Once Upon a K Prom, so I knew it would be set in high school and I knew it would be about prom, but I think I just kind of outgrew this book. I don't want to say outgrew, but I'm not the target demographic per se, but I am because I like K-pop. I don't know. I feel like if I was in high school and I did like K-pop at that time, I would like this book. But that was not the case because high school me definitely did not like the style of K-pop that was popular. I got into K-pop at the perfect time where my music taste was shifting and the music industry of K-pop has shifted to where I actually like that style of music. That's besides the point. 3.75 stars. A fun time. I had so much fun reading it. I read it like in one day, basically in one sitting. Then we have a fun little reread of ACOTAR, Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I hadn't reread this series in I think 2 years? Might have been just 1 year, but I think it was just 1 year. I think it was last year because I put myself on like a rereading ban and I discovered the graphic audiobooks and oh my goodness. Now what they are is basically like a full cast of characters voicing each character. That was phrased so wrong. A full cast of actors voicing each separate character. All the voice actors are phenomenal. Lucian though, like Lucian sounds so freaking hot. It's not even funny. I would literally kill for just a novel between Feyre and Lucian just for I can hear the Lucian voice actor just get some more lines. Like, can we make that a situation that happens? I am still actually in the process of like reading through these books, but I am just listening to the graphic audio. It's been such a fun experience to experience a novel that I love so much in a different format, and I would potentially kill someone if we got together and had Ranger's Apprentice with professional voice actors. Can you imagine how good that would be? Oh my gosh, that would be so good. Can we petition for that? I want that more than I want like a TV show or movie of Ranger's Apprentice. That's what I want. I want a graphic audiobook. It's just fun to experience a series you love and have read so many times in a new form. And yeah, 5 stars. Well, technically it's rated 3 stars on Goodreads because it's not like the best in terms of like plot and like the book itself. However, in terms of enjoyment, 5 stars. Definitely. Love it. So fun. Just being back in Prithian and into Sarah J. Maas's universe is so fun. Because I like forget how much I love Sarah J. Maas because of all like the hate that she gets. And then I'm like, I actually love her universe and love her books so much. So like, I need to stop doubting how much I love this series. Then we have a 3-star book, and that is 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. Maybe 3.5. I literally don't remember my star ratings for a lot of these. Whoops. In terms of like the point, whatever. Goodreads needs to get on that. Can we please have partial star ratings? Please. I'm begging you. People have been begging you for ages. Why is that not a thing? But 6 Crimson Cranes, Elizabeth Lim. I was so disappointed in this book, and I think if I went in with lower expectations and knew that it was more middle grade than YA, I would have just enjoyed it more. But I spent so much of the book just annoyed at the juvenile writing style that I didn't get to really enjoy the plot and just suck myself into the world. I had so much potential, but then the pacing of the plot just felt so off. And then the love triangle that was being set up, I was like, what is going on in the House of Commons? What are we doing? I'm still keeping this book. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to pick up the second book or not. I was discussing it during the live show for Wyverns and Words, whether or not I should continue. And a lot of people said no. And I don't really want to waste my time diving back into a world that I wasn't super invested in. But I also feel like I need to justify me owning The Dragon's Promise. But I think I'm just going to keep them for the pretty artwork on the covers. So, whoops, not the best purchase, but The covers are phenomenal. I don't want to recommend this book, truly. Unless you're middle grade or you enjoy YA books that aren't really YA and they're lying to you, I think it could potentially be a fun time. I just got too wrapped up in being annoyed at how juvenile it was the entire book. I mean, it does get really interesting the last, like, 100 or so pages. But it shouldn't take all of the pages to get to there. I don't know. That's my thought on that. This next book is, I literally, like, I'm just gonna say, it's probably gonna be my favorite book of 2023. Like, can I say that? It's only February, and have I found my favorite book of the year? Probably. R.F. Kuang is my favorite author, period, hands down. I want to be her. I want to grow up and I want to be like her. She is such a badass. She is so intellectual, and her ability to write stories like these that are standalones and have such intricate characters and an intricate magic system, and each character feels very unique, and each character has its own backstory and history, and they feel so authentic. Girlies, I want to be her so badly. I want this talent. It is phenomenal. Okay, Babel, 5 stars, obviously. The magic system is so interesting in the fact that it feels almost like it could be logical. But obviously it's not, because it's a magic system. But there's enough logic rooted in everything that I'm like, that is such a cool concept. How are people like this creative? It's insane. It focuses a lot on languages, which is also fascinating. The audiobook, y'all, if you have not even like listened to the audiobook a little bit, you are sleeping on it. Because the experience of listening to the audiobook while reading along to this book, immaculate. Oh my gosh. I just can gush in awe over this book endlessly. I will spare that for you, but I will say it is very dense. It's marketed as dark academia. I wouldn't really say dark academia. Okay, no. Okay, I get why it's dark academia now. No, that makes sense. It's dark academia, but it feels like normal academia until like the last like 200 pages or so. And that's when shit hits the fan. Like, truly. Fascinating novel. Cannot wait to reread this next year. I love it so, so much. I want all the editions of this book. Then we've got a Cassandra Clare book. I finished this recently, Chain of Iron, second book in the Last Hours trilogy, and I did give it a 4.5. I rated it 5 stars on Goodreads. However, I was just a little bit disappointed in the pacing. However, Cassandra Clare does this thing where the books are so freaking long, but she'll be dropping clues left and right. And then the payout for just kind of like not struggling through the book, but just kind of wading your way through the book in the beginning of like how slow it is, the payoff is so worth it. The climax, there's like 2 separate climaxes in this book. There's like the action climax and then the character like relation climax. And they both stressed me the fuck out. But I loved every single second of it. I love Cassandra. Cassandra Clare is one of those writers that I will probably always read any books in the Shadowhunter universe. The deep set nostalgia, similar to Ranger's Apprentice. I just have it. Cassandra Clare has her little nostalgic claws in me, and she's not letting go. But the fact that she can top each of her novels each time is like phenomenal. I didn't cry during this one, which is good. Like, shit did happen, and I'm stressed. I am so stressed for Chain of Thorns. But I wasn't as traumatized as I was when I read the other books. So that's good. Is she writing more books in the Shadowhunter universe? Have we had any news? I could just Google this. But y'all might be more in the know than me. So let me know. But yes, 4.5 just because the pacing was just like I was bored. Like the first 100 pages I was bored, and then there's like a chunk in the middle and I was just bored a little bit. But the climax, the action scenes, the climax, the characters, just shit. Cassandra Clare just knows how to write good characters. But yeah, those are the 7 books that I managed to pick up this month. I feel like my reading has definitely slowed down because I kind of got into like a spiral depression situation, and then I also got really busy with like my personal life, and so my reading just kind of hit like a stagnant point where most of my reading this month felt like books that I needed to read versus books that I wanted to. But I'm gonna work on that in March. March is my birthday month, which means I am getting nothing but good vibes. Okay, and I'm gonna send all those good vibes out to y'all. Poof. Like, I don't know what that was. I don't know what the thought process of that statement nor that action was. But I hope those were good vibes. Get all the good vibes. Anyways, I'm going to shut up now. My throat really hurts from talking. Thank you so much to all of you for watching. Thank you to all of my Patreons over on KSXCast. It's our little book club over there. Super fun time. Love you all. And I really, really hope to see y'all in the next video. Toodles!